Under Section 14A of the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2005, the government is mandated to contribute funds to political parties represented in Parliament to support their daily operations.
Electoral Commission receives funds that it passes on to political parties.
Despite legal provisions, reports indicate that political parties frequently fail to submit audited financial statements as required by the law. During the year under review, 44.9 billion shillings was disbursed to 7 political parties in Uganda. The National Resistance Movement, NRM, received the largest share, amounting to 34.1 billion shillings, followed by the National Unity Platform, NUP, with 5.7 billion shillings. The Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, received 3.1 billion shillings. The Democratic Party, DP, and Uganda People's Congress, UPC, each received 908 million shillings. Justice Forum, JEMA, was allocated 100.9 million, and the People's Progressive Party, PPP, received 100.8 million. However, the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of the Electoral Commission for the year that ended June 2023 indicated that at least 6 political parties failed to maintain adequate financial records in line with the Accountant General's guidelines, showing that compliance with regulations remains inconsistent.
The principle should be that political parties submit budgets, but also that those budgets be made available, easily accessible by the taxpayer. This is my money, your money, this is our money that goes into those political parties.
According to the Auditor General's report, some of the parties receiving this money, including the ruling National Resistance Movement NRM and the Uganda People's Congress UPC, failed to remit pay-as-you-earn taxes worth 2.5 billion shillings to the Uganda Revenue Authority and 173.4 million shillings to the National Social Security Fund NSSF. Henry Moguzi, the Executive Director of the Alliance for Finance Monitoring, explains that political finance is a complex political phenomenon as most parties are not very transparent.
The biggest political party, NRM, is one of the most opaque political parties when it comes to managing funds. The money they use and parade around, where does it come from? We have never been explained to, for example, why when the government of Uganda is broke, NRM is also broke. We don't know. Because of the lack of transparency and accountability, we look at political parties in opposition and the political party in power, and we see no difference in terms of lack of transparency.
Despite legal provisions, reports indicate that political parties frequently fail to submit audited financial statements as required by the law. So we asked various political leaders what they made of the funding advanced to them in the run-up to the 2021 elections.
Money we receive here as a political party is basically spent in 4 basic areas. The first one is salaries and wages of the staff of NRM. We pay rent in every district where we have an NRM office that we are renting. The other one is mobilization. Every quarter, we come up with a mobilization program on going to listen to people's problems, providing answers to the problems, or explanations as why, as party, we have not done as we had previously promised in the manifesto. We have social corporate responsibility activities.
We account through the Electoral Commission. We make sure that we file our audited books of reports every year. We also file our financial reports every quarter. The best form of accountability on our part has been to show the people out there that these are the 10 departments we have, and this is the percentage which each of these departments takes every year, whether it's the policy department, the mobilization department, organizing and party building department, etc.
That money is not even enough to run a political party because in the first place we have administrative costs. We have both current and recurrent costs that are normal to any organization.
And then there were also funds to be for holding the statutory bodies, where we normally have the National Council Delegates Conference. So those are the key areas which we looked at on the funding. But the moment the funding came through, it only went on the issue of the proportional numbers.
As Uganda prepares for the 2026 general elections, the call for reforms in political party financing is growing. Experts and stakeholders suggest that the Auditor General should conduct regular financial audits of all political parties. The Electoral Commission should be empowered to enforce transparency in political party funding, and Parliament should establish an independent oversight body to monitor party finances.
The only challenge is in terms of how that money is distributed to political parties. Like we've already said, you see, for example, NRM gets 75% of that money, NEP just gets 12%. And I mean, when NRM gets 75% and then all other political parties have to just look at the 25%. So we have challenges with that, because it's as if that provision is simply there to ensure NRM has funds to operate with.
If the NRM, as the party in power, because of its numerical strength, has taken 80% of the money, what have you used it for? You don't even have headquarters. A young party that just came yesterday has headquarters. You don't have. Where have you put this money? NUP can say, okay, we put up this. I can say, okay, there's a building. At least I can see a party is growing.
The Electoral Commission Act gives the Electoral Commission the power to regulate political parties, but opposition groups argue that enforcement is selective, with the ruling NRM enjoying preferential treatment.
That money is not disbursed on time. The whole quota can end without the money being disbursed.
I've gone through several election cycles with a clear stipulation of how funding is supposed to be handled during the election cycle. And that has not been implemented. I hope this time, with the Minister of Justice coming from the Democratic Party, it may be looked at in more favorable light.
As money continues to play a dominant role in Uganda's politics, the lack of transparency in party financing undermines electoral integrity, fuels political inequality, and entrenches a system where financial muscle outweighs democratic principles. Betty Mudondo, NTV.